I wanted to take a moment and share some really incredible information that was shared with me. About a year or so ago, at the suggestion of my guides, I stopped sending a grounding cord into the earth core crystal. They told me that it was more important that I ground deeply into my body and send a cord upwards to the galactic core than deep into the earth. So the other day I woke and I could feel that there was a group wanting to communicate with me, but I just couldn't seem to pinpoint who. So as I laid there, I went about my normal morning ritual of cleaning my aura and aligning my chakras and really setting intentions for the day. And as I was scanning my heart chakra, I heard my highest aspect say, "Send a cord down into the earth." And I was surprised that as I sent my cord down, I saw a huge tree growing out of the huge rose quartz crystal at the center of the earth. So some background on this, in 2012, when I began anchoring a cord into the earth, I saw the earth core crystal as like a black hematite looking stone. It's kind of black and metallic looking. But in 2013 through the end of 2014, I watched this crystal go from a black hematite to a smoky quartz, then to a quartz crystal, and then it finally changed to this beautiful rose quartz crystal. So when the first time that I saw this rose quartz crystal near the end of 2014, I noticed that it pulsed. It would glow a warm red off and on at this really nice beat. So my guides then took me on an adventure to the galactic core to see the largest rose quartz crystal I'd ever seen. This one also pulsed, and I realized that they pulsed at the same time. And the guides explained to me that the Earth was finally back online, reconnected with the galaxy. And there was such excitement over this event. It was this huge milestone for Gaia to raise her vibration enough to reconnect with the galaxy. And so now here it is, December of 2016, and there is a glorious tree growing out of the top of the rose quartz crystal. And I then took my consciousness down to the center of the earth where I was met by beings I had worked with before. And they were so excited. It was as if this was an unveiling, a showing off of the most beautiful child. And that's when it hit me. This is Gaia's child. This tree represents the new earth. And my mind flashed back to this intense dream I had in December of 2012 of so many of us, thousands of us, holding hands in rings around this incredible giant tree. We were singing and rejoicing and connecting energetically with our own tribes. And what I didn't realize then, but I do now, is that the ceremony was of Gaia preparing to give birth to the new earth. And it was after that time that the crystal began to lighten. And from where my consciousness was in the inner earth, I stared in awe at this majestic young tree. And though she's young, she's huge. But I noticed that her leaves had not sprouted. She looked like a tree dormant for the winter. And the beings of the inner earth explained that right now 5D is an energetic layer on top of the collapsing 3 and 4D frequencies. And this is how so many can seem to ping pong back and forth through the frequencies. And while that's uncomfortable, it's not necessarily a bad thing when one does this, because when one fluctuates between the frequencies, they're able to see what still needs healing. And every time they dip down into a lower vibration, they can figure out what it is that caused them to dip and then rise back up. And each time you may find that it gets easier and easier to bring yourself back to center. And what once triggered you no longer will. The 5D frequency is simply a gateway. It's a landing pad. And once you anchor into this grid, it allows you to continue moving upwards in frequency as you work on integrating first all of your human lives and then all of your galactic lives. And as you merge back with all of you, bit by bit, you then begin to access your true magnificence. It is not that simply reach 5D frequency and all is magically perfect. It is that the 5D frequency is the gateway for where the higher work begins. And from this place, each person is able to continue forward, remembering who they really are as they make their way back to Source. The beings of the inner earth then explained that in March the tree will begin to sprout, to come into our own. And at this time we will begin the process of separating from the original earth. The way that they correlated this within my mind so that I could understand was to show me a segment from my high school sex ed class. They showed me an egg being fertilized by a sperm, but instead of just fertilizing it, it split it into 2 perfect zygotes. And they explained that this separating process will begin in March, but will take almost 18 months to complete the separation. Now, during this time, we will continue to be blasted with light codes and body upgrades. We will continue to be tested and shown where we hold dysfunction. All that is not sustainable in the higher frequencies will have to go or change so that it's compatible with the energy of the new. And when things or relationships fall apart, take a moment and realize that while it's confusing and may hurt, it could be saving you from greater pain in the future. Just know that with each moment, all is designed to help you adjust and maintain a 5D and beyond frequency within, so that once the separation is complete, you are able to stay in that space. Each test is one more opportunity to see where you need more inner work, and also to see just how far you've come. Because you may then be able to see that what used to trigger you no longer does. And with that, pat yourself on the back because it means you've grown. So such deep integration is taking place, and all around you is designed to help you become one with the energies and understand all that you are. And at a soul level, you and your team of guides, your angels and ascended masters, are orchestrating events to help you get to the heart of the matter at all times. We just returned from a week in Florida, and this trip came about within the last 2 months when we found $39 airfare tickets, which is just unbelievable. And I knew instinctively that there was a higher purpose for me going to Florida, but I was completely unclear as to what it may be. The first stop on our trip was to Sarasota, where the beaches are 99.9% quartz crystal and are rumored to be a remnant from the Atlantean period. I absolutely loved it, and the energy of the area was so soothing. However, 24 hours after being on the beach, I had this odd feeling overcome me. It was one of wanting to give up, of not being able to help others, of being ineffective. And as I was deep in these emotions, which were really quite uncomfortable, I also knew that I had to move through them. It was as if a part of me felt this way, but the other part was saying, it's okay. You'll move through this and return to your sense of self. I had this constant dialogue going within that explained to the part of me that was wanting to give up that it was not my job to save anyone, that to think I could save someone is really just ego. My job is to simply shine a light on a different way. That each soul must do their own inner work and save themselves. This finally quieted this sense of failure and hopelessness I had felt. And after I returned to a state of balance, I was shown in a journey where in the Atlantean times I had done similar work to what I do now. Yet I had attached another's progress and growth to my own worth, which led me to feel I was a great failure, because there was some that I just could not save. And it's funny because I assumed that I might do some earth healing or be called to do a water blessing on this trip, yet the healing was for me, and it was deeply profound. And what I also found fascinating is that I learned that right around the same time there were others, particularly healers, that experienced similar emotions around that time. And to me, it shows that the energies were coming in to show us where the savior complex had led us astray before, and how not to repeat it again. So we have a jam-packed month of upgrades and stargates. December has been a very powerful month since 2012. And I asked why this month in particular, and was told that many light blasts correlate to when people are in celebration. Many traditions and religions celebrate this time of year, and when one is in joy, light is anchored in faster and with greater ease. On the flip side, the holidays can be difficult because of strained family relationships, financial concerns, and even loneliness. When this is coupled with the light blasts and stargates, it helps us to begin to heal this dysfunction within, even if that healing means moving away from all that you have known before. So I hope that this update finds you well and that you're excited as I am about the incredible news on the new Earth and the progress that is being made. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart to all who share this work, because it truly means the world to me that it helps people. Sending you all lots of love. Talk to you soon.